Today we are back with our Studying the Pro series, where we break down gameplay from some of the best Warzone players out there. And today we're going to be breaking down a 34 kill win here from Aydan. Now, throughout this gameplay, there's a few main things that I want to focus on. Starting off here with early game. He gets off to a really hot start, picking up about 10 kills. So I want to focus a little bit on early game strategy. Next up, I want to focus on how he finds 34 people. I think it's a place a lot of us are struggling is how do you even find that many people throughout a game? And last up, most importantly, is going to be his pace of play and how he changes pace throughout fights. Real quick here, because I think a lot of us think this is a very slow game. It caters to people that are sitting on rooftops and sitting in corners, when in reality, what we're going to see here is Aydan changes his pace very well. He's patient on his approach, he's patient on his re-engage, but he's constantly challenging with momentum after he gets a kill. He's constantly repositioning throughout gunfights, and he just overall changes his pace very well. So we'll focus on that. Now, when it comes to early game strategy, the biggest thing that I want to highlight here is the moment he gets a 3-plate vest and a good gun, he starts focusing on what is going on around him. Keep in mind that when you get a 3-plate vest, you actually have an advantage over other enemies, right? You have a health advantage having 50 extra health. So he's now challenging with more confidence, knowing that he has that advantage. I mean, think about it from your perspective, right? When you land in, and you don't have that 3-plate vest, you're either looking for one or you're thinking about the fact that you don't have one, or both, and you just know that you're at a little bit of a disadvantage. Real quick, by the way, bottom of the screen, we see kills 0 out of 107, and we see a big fat few $1,000 pot. Essentially, they were wagering against their chats. So their chats would donate a bunch of money, and the team combined, all 4 people, have to get 107 kills between 2 games. Now, we obviously know that's going to happen because of this 34 kill game, but overall, the reason I highlight that is because they're going to stick together a little bit during this early game. So instead of full pushing, they are going to kind of 2v2 split here. Iceman Isaac and Crim6 are going to fight together. Unrational and Aydan are going to fight together because they're trying to pick up a lot of kills, but also limit their risk a little bit. Now, right here, guys, when we talk about, adjusting to this TTK and anticipation, watch how he centers his crosshairs. Watch how he puts his crosshairs where he thinks people are going to be. And right there is exactly what you need to be doing, especially with how fast this TTK is, because that allows him to get that down while only taking 1 plate of damage. And the bigger thing here is that allows him to stay in more engagements, right? Because he takes less damage, he can immediately push back up here and start focusing on what else is going on around him. Are there other enemies pushing in? Can he challenge a second enemy immediately? And just keep that in mind, because it's something we're going to be focusing on again. Right there, he's able to hit shots, he takes just a little bit of damage, and he can start focusing on any other enemies going on around him, which right there, sure enough, Unrational goes down, Aydan's able to cover, but he's able to easily not, take out that guy, not having to worry about being low health. So he's going to go ahead and get the revive. Real quick, by the way, as we're really jumping into this, if you are looking to get better, make sure you are subscribed down below. I do videos just about every single day for you. Tip videos, loadout videos, gameplay strategy guides, basically anything that I can think of that will help you improve. I was a 4 KD player in Warzone 1. We're going to continue that here in Warzone 2 and continue helping you get better. So back in we go. We notice that it's just Unrational, sees one right there. And a lot of times early game, keep in mind Observatory is your hot drop. They are just running into people. Now, look at the cover, right? So he's re-engaging, and I think this is something that we're going to have to do a lot more of, is a lot of times because we can't get out of this scenario right here, we're going to have to challenge this with a little bit of low plates. Now he's going to plate, right? So Unrational is going to push, and this is where we start talking about trading, because Unrational's full health. There's a team wipe right there. So, he gets this kill, he pushes into cover, he's just going to re-peek this to see what he can find, and now he's going to plate up. So we see that slight change of pace. He pushes quickly behind cover, then he re-challenges quickly, then he slows down and plates up. There's a portable or a decoy or whatever. So he's got 6 kills right here. Off to a really good start. Let's go and fast forward just a little bit. They're still floating around here. Uses the portable radar. You can kind of see it. Oh, I think it went away, actually. So notice that, by the way, they are all back together again. Haven't thought about buying loadout guns yet. We're just going to pick up that kill and watch this right here. I do want to pull this back because this is a really good example of they're pushing up. They hear somebody, so they get a little bit lucky with audio. He's going to tag that guy. He's going to challenge this, but he doesn't immediately go for the thirst, right? He knows that there's another one there. So he thirsts there and then focuses on this enemy. And now we get that team wipe. So one of the biggest things to take away from that is don't always hyper focus on just one kill, because you never know what else is going on around you. Always assume that it's going to be a full team and start focusing on, okay, where's enemy number 2? Where's enemy number 3? And trying to keep track of where everybody is. Now, don't get me wrong, thirsts are definitely important, and it's something that I've learned the hard way recently is like if you don't thirst to kill, there's a good chance that enemy is getting back into that fight and going to get revived, especially because you pretty much have to assume that everybody has self-revive at this point. But we need to get thirst strategically because when you shoot somebody or when you down somebody, you've got to know that those teammates are going to be close by. Unrational's got his help right there. He's going to trade. So he's off to a 10-kill start. Notice he hasn't gotten loadout guns yet. He's got the AK-74U or the cast-off 74U, and he's really starting to challenge with confidence right here, knowing that he can actually get kills with this. You know, he's good. I think he grabs the Fennec right here. Does he? Or Stronghold's going to unlock here in a second. Now, one thing that I do want to highlight for Rebirth players is flares, right? So we see this yellow flare up top. That's a recon contract. We also have red flares from buybacks. For my Rebirth players in Fortune's Keep, that wasn't something really had to deal with much because people were buying back late. It didn't really matter at that point. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and grab Stronghold right here. Little bit of RNG, little bit of luck that Stronghold pushes right here, but they're going to be able to get loadout. Let's go ahead and fast forward to him getting loadout. He's running the RPK and the Fennec. So overall, you know, just capitalizing on a hot start right there, capitalizing on people being around. But let's really start to focus now on how he goes about finding people. First things first, guys, when you have this high ground, this is why people like Observatory so much on top of it being a hot drop, is you can fly. So flying, especially when you have a UAV, just allows you to cover a lot of ground. So he's just going to keep floating. He's going to fly around. If he sees fighting below him, he's obviously going to be able to push that, but he's marking where multiple people are on the map. So he's not going to forget that one is over to his left. He also knows that he's pushing into two teams right here. So now, as he approaches, he's going to play from the top for a little bit. He's going to focus on this one right here and now start to think about, okay, once we get this guy, we can push left. He sees this guy right here. Little bit of patience, not overshooting with his Fennec because, look, he's not going to be able to get that down with the Fennec range. Swap to the RPK, and now he's immediately pushing in. Other thing to note is he is alone, so he's got to be a little bit careful here, but Unrational is basically really close behind him, and that's just the team dynamic. Whether you're playing with just one other teammate, whether you're playing with 4 people, or I guess it would be 3 other people, you've got to be calming to each other where you are so that you understand how much help you have. Right there, gets a somewhat clean down, right? Takes 2 plates of damage. That allows him to re-engage right here. He flashes himself. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Yeah, watch those flashes. Now he's going to go ahead and anticipate a little bit. Challenge around the corner, hip fire the Fennec, and guys, this is one thing that I really want you to work on, especially because of this fast TTK. You know, look at how much of an advantage this gives him right here. Just this little hip fire, right? So he takes a lot of damage right there, but because he hip fires and it's the Fennec, like they just, oh, I pushed us back too far. There's not a whole lot that guy can do right there. By the way, the one thing I will say about the Fennec and quads, I actually think because of the pace of play, because it's a little bit of a slower pace game, you might be able to get away with the Fennec with the small mag size. Let's go ahead and push up here. They're going to go in and keep rocking and rolling. Once again, got a UAV. Look at their cash flow right here. You know, they've got really good cash flow. So they're going to be constantly rotating 2 different buy stations. When you are looking for kills, you can actually think about the fact that you can get in a vehicle, go to a different buy station, and buy a UAV. Right here, where again, watch how he focuses on this second enemy real quick, and now he can push up to get the thirst. There's team wipe right there, but there still is another one floating around here, right? So we know there's more enemies from that previous UAV. We're just not 100% sure where they are just yet. Unrational's with him. There's another team wipe. Still very healthy lobby. Another UAV here from Iceman Isaac. So we've got multiple enemies around us. He can go ahead and challenge this guy. And I want to talk about this here in a second after he gets this kill, because I thought this was, you know, a very good way to put it. I was talking to a player who plays a lot of these 2v2s, who tends to separate from his squads a lot, and he said, what you need to do, and I want you to process this, is make them calm wrong, right? So when they are thinking about their decision and which way they want to look, which way they want to push, by the way, he's going to dolphin dive up here, and now he can go ahead, try to challenge a little bit. He gets the break, and now it's a little bit of a closer advantage. But I want to talk about calming wrong for a second. Even as a whole squad, this still applies. Yep, they're going to go and push in. Unrational's going to push from bottom, and here we're seeing this 2v2 dynamic right here. 15 kills. You know, when we talk about calming wrong, guys, essentially what that means is a lot of players tend to play passive, especially in this game. And what we need to do is, through our repositioning and how we're approaching fights and how we're using lethals and tacticals, we need them to play passive but make the wrong decision, peek the wrong window, check the wrong corner. Those little things that will allow you to get that advantage. Another big thing right here, I'm going to be doing a video on this very shortly. I think they're going to get a UAV right here, but the use of vehicles, guys, I actually think mobility is kind of good on this game. I don't think they need redeploy balloons simply because you can get around very well with vehicles, and once you get that car and you can rock with it a little bit, you know, you can go to different buy stations to buy UAVs. You can quickly get to other enemies and figure out your approach. You know, when you're approaching out of a car, whether it's 2 people or 4 people, you got to kind of factor that in, and we'll see that throughout this game. One up top here, so he's going to go ahead. Yep, just easy kill right there. Executes very well with the Fennec, hits a lot of high damage areas. And look, guys, we talked about that a lot in Warzone 1, hitting those chest shots, those headshots, those things that give you the faster TTK. But we still got to remember that in this game, you know, it doesn't feel as... I don't know what it is. It feels a little bit different in Warzone 2, but it's still very crucial to hit those high damage areas and still use movement, right? Basic strafing, a little bit of jumping while shooting. We're not slide canceling or anything. He's going to go ahead and take this free kill out in the open. And it's all about separating teams as well. Look how separated this team is. So this is 2 easy one-on-ones right now. And look, he takes a lot of damage, but because that second enemy is so far away and he's strategic about who he pushed, it's a pretty easy kill right there. He doesn't have to worry about getting team shot, which is where a lot of you struggle. A lot of you get that first kill and then get killed by that second one, and it's simply because of the position you're putting yourself in. Now, he knows there's multiple enemies right here. This is one of my favorite fights, by the way. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this approach. He knows he has 3 people right here based on radar, right? So as he pushes in, he's going to get the knock with the RPK, and watch how he changes his pace throughout this fight. Watch how he changes right here. So he's going to get that knock, right? Doesn't immediately thirst, focuses on enemy number 2 and enemy number 3, expecting them to be challenging. Now he gets the thirst, so it's down to 1v2. Now he's going to go ahead. He's going to play from a different angle, right? He's going to reposition here. He's a little bit exposed. Watch the strafing, right? Just a little bit of strafing. So he gets knock number 2, and we'll go ahead and play this back real quick. Now, right here, he's just using this car as cover, but he's not just laying prone. He's still getting information. He sees this guy challenge. He's going to cancel the third plate. He's going to engage. He's going to get the break, and now he can keep that pressure on. So watch how it's just so easy when you change your pace. Look, I get it's easier said than done, right? So he's going to get the knock, focus on enemy 2 and 3. He's going to get the thirst. Now he's going to reposition. He's going to capitalize while he has this UAV up. Now, there's an execution component, right? If he doesn't get this knock right here, this gets a little bit tougher. He's going to keep getting information. He's going to see this guy challenging right here, so he's going to challenge him. He's going to get the break. Now he can go ahead and push in, and we see just the execution component is still very crucial. Now he goes ahead. I think he buys a UAV right here after yeah. And look, the biggest thing is UAVs, but I think one of the biggest things to note is, like, we can still constantly get UAVs up if we grab bounties and stuff like that. I think, by the way, bounties are going to be like a meta contract in this game, and I think it's worth driving over to bounty contracts because it gives you the information and gives you the cash flow. Let's go ahead and keep pushing here. Yep, he's going to go ahead. He's still got 20 kills. Now he knows that people are over to his right, so he's going to be a little bit more patient here. He's got to be, you want to keep that element of surprise, guys. The element, if there's one thing that you can take away from today's video, I want you to think about the element of surprise. Understanding that if we can get a knock and get a thirst, we immediately take control of that fight. And then we go into our normal standard reposition, take a different angle, and keep trying to find what we can find. But that initial knock is so important right here. And he's just going to wait. He's just going to wait for them. Down 1, down 2. Not much those guys can do at that point. And he's still thinking about other enemies. Now, you don't really have to worry about ghosts too much, by the way. Just a quick note, I don't think the perk 3s are actually working. I have not yet come across somebody who was ghosted. I've not yet had my loadout and had high alert work. So I don't think that perk 3 is working. Meaning, if you pop a UAV, you're pretty much seeing exactly what you need to. 22 kills. We've got 1 over this way. Once again, look how he's taking easy engagements. He's not necessarily pushing into 4 stacks. He's just taking 1 simple kill at a time. Yep, wait, he shoots a little early, but he's going to execute right there. That guy's going to die. Let's go ahead and fast forward here. Let's go ahead and keep pushing up. Back in the car he goes. No UAV or anything. And now he's just trying to see what he can find. Now he's got a UAV, and he knows that he can push over this way. Now, when we talk about vehicles, guys, when you're pushing into a 4 stack, I would not recommend this. When you're pushing into a 2 stack, you could absolutely finesse this quickly and just use the Fennec to basically just full send right on top of them. Unrational is going to get one. There's the second one, and those guys just have no chance right there. So there's kill number 24, just using the vehicle. But more importantly, what do you notice in this very second right here? You should have caught this. I mean, we've got two teams over at the oil area over this way, Rohan Oil, and he's immediately going to start pushing over. Now, unfortunately, you know, by the time he gets over there, the UAV is going to run out, I believe, but he's going to mark where they are, and now we can keep track of that information. He's going to push up. Yeah, notice he just calmed right there. He said one more would be huge. Sure enough, they get the UAV up and he can figure out exactly what's going on. So keep in mind, guys, that UAVs are very limited in this game. So if you can find a way to get them, whether it's from driving around, whether it's from splitting a little bit as you become a more advanced player, which guys, I would, by the way, just hear me out here for a second. If you are a very advanced player, you can, of course, go ahead and split. But for the most part, guys, this is a team game. It is a team dynamic. I would recommend staying with your squad and just focus on how you can put yourself in more engagements and drop that 40, 50, 60 kill win as a squad that we're looking for. Now, he's going to go ahead and he's going to play this aggressive right here, guys. He's definitely going to push in here with his Fennec. He's going to challenge right here, knowing that he's on his level, down right there. But biggest thing to highlight, clean first kill. Right, he gets that clean first kill, allows him to stay in this engagement, and allows him to continue to challenge. Notice the centering in anticipation. Gets caught in a really bad spot right there. Gets the thirst. Now he's just got to slow his pace down. Slow his pace down a little bit. He's going to sit in the corner, just like Call of Duty wanted us to. Unrational's right there with him, covering the angles. But now we re-engage. And I want to pull this back and talk about this here in a second. Okay, so guys, we slow down right here, right? This is where we talk about our change of pace. He's going to put one plate in. He's going to put two plates in, but now he's already starting to reposition. We can't plate and run at the same time, but we can still reposition, work our way around, and look at his centering right here. Centering's out, centering's out. He's just ready for an enemy to be around that corner. So that's where we can really start to change our pace. 26 kills right here. Need to still go ahead and find enemies. Definitely people right there. Let's go ahead and fast forward here. I think we're going to fast forward for a little bit. UAV up again. So now he knows there's people over here. And notice that he pre-marked this, right? As soon as he gets the UAV up, did they ping that? I don't know if they did or not. I don't know. Oh, he did. Okay. So when he pops that UAV, right, he pings that so that he knows exactly where they are. As he's pushing up, he should be able to get this guy rotating out in the open and the element of surprise. At this point, there's not a whole lot they can do. There's kill number one. Doesn't worry about the thirst just yet. He knows that he's low ammo, so he's going to push to cover, and now he's going to engage with the Fennec, right? So this is, guys, this is just a super easy. This is knock number one. Then we go ahead, we push behind cover to swap with the Fennec, and then we go ahead and challenge enemy number two. And that's another thing, is playing our cover. You know, throughout this game, you see him play his cover really well and constantly keep track of it. When he's rotating out in the open, he knows that he's out in the open. When he's rotating out in the open, he's thinking about any little piece of cover that he can actually get to that will allow him to just not be as susceptible, which is where a lot of you get caught. By the way, we're seeing a lot of dolphin diving. If you haven't already, I'm going to put the setting on screen here for you. Invert your sliding your dolphin dive. That makes it so that it's much easier, it's much quicker to dolphin dive, which is kind of replaces slide canceling in a sense. We don't have as much versatility with slide canceling, but in my opinion, when you look at what slide canceling did for you out in the open, made you a harder target to hit, allowed you to reset your tack sprint. That's really what I use dolphin diving for. I jump forward, which allows me to pick up a little bit of ground. It allows me to reset my tack sprint, and it makes me a harder target to hit. 29 kills. Now we're in this moment of, yep, you see it right here. As he pushes up, he knows there's people over to the left just because he sees them, but he knows that he's out in the open. So he's got to be a little bit careful here. And we're going to see him dolphin dive here forward in a second, right there, which allows him to get behind cover. Now he's going to plate up, and he's going to start thinking about that re-engage. The re-engage is crucial, guys. Once you know where people are, two biggest things with the information that I can give you is, you know, make sure you're keeping track of any piece of information that you have, and don't forget that information, because that's going to limit the amount of wandering that you do. They're going to go in and push up right here while they have the advantage, just thinking about where people could be. And notice the crosshairs are out right here. He's ready to go, challenging, trying to see where he is. Not 100% sure. Just clearing corners and stuff. Yep. Ooh. Caught in a bad spot. He's going to dolphin dive. Yep, there's your dolphin dive. Now he can slow down, He can plate up, except if this guy pushes, which now he's going to go ahead and he's going to use that Fennec to his advantage, right? So that Fennec is just so good, guys. Like I said, I think it is actually kind of more viable in quads than we think it is. I'm going to go ahead and start pushing towards this end game, guys, because there's not a whole lot else that there's a little bit that happens. He's going to pick up another few kills right here, but he's just driving around trying to find people. We have obviously got a very big circle with only a few teams left. So he's just driving still. And guys, I'm pushing forward 10 seconds here. These are 10-second intervals right here. Yeah, I paused this right before this guy's about to get run over. You know, so you see he basically drove around a minute not seeing anybody. There's one. There's two. Pretty easy kills right there, especially because he gets the clean first one, right? That's I think one of the biggest takeaways that I want you to take to get from today's videos. When we focus on slowing our pace down, keeping our element of surprise, making sure that we can get that clean first kill, you know, that's going to really help you. And if he came from Rebirth, you know, 4 stacking on Rebirth was brutal. So we always talked about that. But 4 stacking in this game is going to be very common. It's going to happen simply because of the BR dynamic. People are focusing on wins. By the way, there's no doubt that they're going to win this game, right? Because it's just, they're 4 pro players. They're 4 very good players. Kill number 33 right there. Once again, driving around. He's just going to go ahead and finish up this end game here in a second. He's going to see, they're trying to find him. Oh, we went too far. As he pushes in here, he's going to catch him right there. Now he's going to go ahead and execute. So I hope you found today's video helpful, guys. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.